$60 to $100,000. And no, I didn't turn it into $100,000 overnight. And if that's why you clicked the video, my brother, skedaddle. This video was not meant for you. What I did was use $60 to earn a chance at $100,000. It came with a lot of pressure, a lot of discipline, and as well as sacrifice. And that's where most people quit. There was no weekends off, there was no impulsive trades, and there was no chasing money. All I did was sit on my hands while everyone else was out there gambling. That's where most people fail. Not because you don't have the capital. It's not because you're broke, quote unquote, but it's because you don't know how to sit still when the market isn't presenting you with anything. And that's the difference between staying stuck and building real financial freedom. So, if you want to see how a $60 decision opened the doors to $100,000 in trading capital, and also what it takes to receive a 5-figure payout, continue to watch the video. Man, it's been a minute. It's been probably 3.5, almost a month of no trading. And I'm not complaining because it worked on patience. It worked on discipline. It worked on the things it needed to work on because I didn't want to start repeating mistakes. Right now, we are looking at a trading pair, AUDJPY. I'm gonna just switch all over to the computer and we're gonna break it down. We'll go from there. All right, so AUDJPY, I am a little early with the breakdown. It's only 11:40, but 12 o'clock is like the middle ground where I can start identifying structure in the market because it's starting to either have that correction, it's having some type of breaker structure, it's aligning when I need it to. So that's what we're doing right now. AUDJPY. Why do I like this pair? Well, daily time frame, we see that we're bullish, right? We recently just broke out of these highs and we can anticipate some type of pullback to happen like so, because we know when price gives us some type of break of structure, we typically have the retest of this break before having that continuation back towards the upside. So we're looking for price to pull back down towards this daily structure area on the daily time frame. But if we pay attention at the peak of this move, we see price now having that slowed down momentum, which is now leaving us with the bearish engulfing. That bearish engulfing allowed the 4-hour time frame to go from a bullish to then bearish trend. Hold on, let me adjust. All right, I like to just start like over here so I can get a better flow of the market. As I'm drawing out structure, it's not interrupted by anything. I'm not too close towards the recent breaks, but I'm actually identifying the correct market structure. So we had our low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, pivot, break of structure, breaking past these highs, new higher high, new higher low, continuation, boom, another break of structure, and now we're followed up with another break of structure. So we see price go from this bullish to now bearish trend due to us getting left with this bearish engulfing on the daily time frame. As soon as price established this break of structure on the 4-hour time frame, the 1-hour time frame did that exact same thing. So we see where the 1 hour gave us the break of our higher lows. You see how we were trending. Price then had the break of these lower highs, then had another flip giving us a break past these higher lows. You can obviously see that the 4-hour performed this breaker structure around here. The 1 hour performed the breaker structure in that same exact area. But what's most important is that we can see that initiation that presented us with the breakout happened on both time frames at the exact same time. So now where can we see the 4-hour retrace back to? Well, since we know that the 4-hour and the 1 hour are in sync, I'm using my 1 hour last breaker structure to find my area of interest. Right here, we just identified that price was bullish and then price flipped bearish, with this being the last break of structure. This is when I grab that box tool and we can draw out this area of interest. What I'm going to do is extend this towards the left. And then if we zoom out and start counting the number of rejections towards the zone, keep in mind, I want 2 or more rejections, allowing me to solidify this area as being a key area of interest, aka our entry zone. So we have that first rejection being here. We then have the second rejection. We zoom out and we move towards previous data. It's been a while since we've been up here, hasn't it? Going towards previous data, we can also see over here where price treated it as resistance, resistance, support, support, resistance, resistance, right? We have rejection towards the zone. That is all I'm looking for. So once we saw that, we have now more than 2 rejections towards this area of interest. I simply want to allow price to go tap back into our zone. In order for this to happen, we have to see this 5-minute time frame go from a bearish to bullish trend, allowing us to tap back into. And then once price taps back into our entry level, as long as we're staying below this daily line, and once we break back below our entry zone, we wait for this break of structure to take place. Once this break of structure happens, we can then find our entry like so, stops being above. And since we're using this 1 hour area of interest as our entry zone, we use the 1 hour structured lows as our take profit. Minimum, we're looking at a 1 to 2, but as long as price pushes towards our direction and it gives us a closure below that target, we can possibly squeeze out a little bit more profit. So I'm excited with AUDJPY. We just simply have to be patient, allow price to develop a little bit more, and let's see if we can execute on this position. If something happened, like y'all know, well, like you already know, I'm gonna bring y'all updates, but if nothing happens, we simply just continue to wait, go to the next trade. Yeah, so you basically saw it. AUDJPY is on our list. It's real good. Everything's meeting the rules. It started with the daily time frame showing us that we had the break of structure continuing towards the upside, but this being a counter trend scenario, I wanted to see some type of bearish engulfing get established before I start looking further. Once I saw that bearish engulfing get established, showing me, one, the slow down momentum of buying pressure, this allowed that 4 hour time frame to flip from a bullish to bearish trend, which also the 1 hour did the exact same thing. Now I'm having 2 time frames in sync, which is what I want in the first place, to look for sales. As you just saw, now we just simply wait until we're having that retest. Once we have the retest, I look for the flipper structure on the 5-minute time frame, which is then followed up with my bearish engulfing candlestick entry. And then if it comes, I will update y'all and we call the trade. We call the trade. And we need to catch a trade. I ain't gonna lie. Bro, it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute. So prayerfully, this is the trade the Lord wants us to take. We take it, we execute it, and we brought y'all along to show y'all the process. So let's see what happens. All right, so we still got AUDJPY. AUDJPY is still respecting our trend. You can see the 4 hour time frame have the retest of the recent break of structure, also having a retest of that daily structure as well. But we see the 4 hour have the break and retest, 1 hour have the break and retest. Both of these time frames in sync towards the downside. We found that entry zone. Price is above this entry zone, but we are finding rejection towards our daily highs. As soon as price gives us the break back below this zone, 5-minute time frame, more than likely, we don't have that entry just yet. Just like y'all, well, like you all know, we have to see the 5-minute match up with the higher time frame trend. At the moment, our lower time frame, we are bullish. We have that higher high, higher low, everything that's taking place in between are just pivot points. So as soon as price gives us the break of these lows, then I will enter my trade going from this allowing price to go from bullish to then bearish, perform the switch of structure, which is what we want to see. Or price can give us the push towards the upside, breaking past these higher highs, having the continuation break, and then turn around and give us the flip, showing us the break of these higher lows, where we will then find an entry based off of the switch of structure and based off of us getting back below our entry zone and being below that daily area as well. So we'll have to see when it comes down to AUDJPY. I do like it, but we have to see the 5-minute have that switch of structure before we enter. Pretty exciting trading opportunities as far as tonight. Let's see what happens. I would love to take a trade before London session kicks around or rolls around. That way we're already inside of a position. Hold on, y'all. So as long as price gives us a position before sessions kick off, we should be good. I want to enter tonight. That way Friday comes around, we still have the rest of the morning slash early afternoon to look for this trade to play out. So let's see what happens. All right, so we took the trade this morning. I am a little bit upset. Well, we didn't even take the trade this morning. The trade presented itself like 1:30 in the morning. I'm already asleep, but it's my fault because I should have done more when it came to, just checking the charts. But it is what it is. We'll miss this setup. The setup would have paid big, like $6,000, $12,000 on both accounts combined. Would have been my biggest trading day. But yeah, it's just showing me that the market is getting back in a flow of things, which is really good. Now we can just come back next week, look to capitalize then, and then go from there. But like I said, I am upset because we didn't catch that position last night, which would have pushed us over to hitting our TP this morning. But yeah, everything that we broke down played out exactly to the T. Just wasn't able to capitalize. So I'm about to go run. When I get back from this run, we're going to do updates on the chart so y'all can see what happened. Run. It was only almost 2.5 miles, but nothing crazy. Easy run today. And really, truth be told, the only reason I even hit the run is because I wasn't disciplined enough to monitor the charts when there was only my lower time frames left telling me when I should enter. When the higher time frames, my daily and my 4-hour, or my 4-hour and my 1-hour, are still well within structure, I am still ready to enter a trade. I just needed to be more disciplined and have more strength to stay awake so I can capitalize on that trade, on the trade we just missed. Because when the lower time frames are out of sync with the higher time frames, again, it's only the lower time frames that I'm waiting on to get in sync. So it's not going to be a lot or a long time. I would have had to wait. But due to me not fighting the urge to go to sleep, we missed this trade. And this trade would have broke our biggest day. My biggest day so far trading is $11,000. We would have surpassed that, probably hitting $13,000 or $14,000 today, which is fine. We still got next week. But if you do break your plan, hold yourself accountable, go hit a workout, go do something that you don't want to do. Because today I was supposed to just go to the gym, but I decided to scratch that and go hit a easy run, but just stay on it, trying to drop my time. I've been averaging a 10 flat pace. I want to get it underneath 10, close to 8. So yeah, just a harder push day today when it came to running and getting our mental a little stronger. So doing the things that we don't want to do really helps us. So I'm gonna catch y'all later. All right, y'all. So we are going to be doing a post-trade breakdown on AUDJPY. Missed opportunity, but we saw the whole move play out in front of our eyes. Everything we called out, it happened. We just wasn't able to execute. So we know our interest came, one, based off of this daily time frame, recently performing a breaker structure, and us looking to get back in on this retracement back down towards this area of interest. We're looking for counter trend setup. And then two, we had this bearish engulfing happen where it's showing selling pressure at our daily highs due to it engulfing past that previous bullish candle. Once we saw that, we also identified that this allowed the 4-hour to go from this bullish to bearish due to the break of structure on this 4-hour time frame. Once we performed this breaking past this higher low portion, we saw this sell pressure step in. And then once I dropped towards the 1-hour time frame, that same selling pressure that stepped in allowed the 1-hour time frame to perform its own breakup structure as well. Knowing that that 4-hour and the 1-hour are in sync towards the downside, the last breakup structure happened around here on the 1-hour time frame. Since we're in sync, I'm using that 1-hour time frame to find my area of interest. If it was the daily and the 4-hour being in sync, I would use the 4-hour time frame to find my area of interest. So once we found that, we already counted out the number of rejections. We had well over 2 rejections, which is what we wanted to see. And then we saw price form this slowed down momentum. We start seeing rejection towards these daily highs. If I go back towards the daily time frame, we know that these are our daily highs. Price on the 4-hour and the 1-hour time frame started to show rejection. This is when we went towards that 5-minute time frame, and we simply waited for the flip of structure. On the 5-minute time frame, we see that our recent high was around here, and then our previous low was around here. So everything that was taking place in between these highs and these lows were just pivot points in the market. I wasn't really paying attention until price presented me a break of my highs or a break of my low. As soon as price pushed around here, we saw price give us the break of structure which we were looking for. But once we went towards this 15-minute time frame, you can see we were not left with any type of entry signal. If anything, price is just showing us that there's extreme selling pressure stepping in right now. So this is why we didn't enter a trade. And then if we just continue to wait, I was looking for the next break of structure, which you can see happened around here. Price presented me with the next break of structure. Once I went towards the 15-minute time frame, however, we did not have this bearish candlestick, did not engulf our previous bullish candlestick, not giving me, hold on y'all, so not closing with enough strength to trigger an execution for myself. So what happened? I walked away from the market. You can see right here, instead of forcing the setup, we'll walk away. Price is just too far away from our entry level, which, let me see, right here. Simply too far away from our entry zone, which made no sense. By the time we would have found an entry, we would have been around here. Stop loss nowhere at our zones, nor at that daily high, which you want your stop loss to be at previous structure. We're not in that area, which didn't make sense for us to take that trade. And that was around 10 o'clock. So if we go back towards 10 o'clock, that was around here. As soon as I sent that out, not even 20 minutes, well, yeah, 20 minutes later, I lied. Look what happens with price. We get the break of structure going back towards the upside, which now puts us in a good position because we see price moving back towards our recent entry zone. Hence is where that stop loss is placed. Once y'all are about to see how we found this entry, you can see how our stop loss is now back at our structure, which is what we wanted. So now price is giving us that push towards the upside where we can now possibly look for a cleaner entry. And again, the 4-hour, we're still bearish. You can see lower high, lower low. Price has never broken through this structure point or through this structure point. Right now, we're performing a break and retest of recent structure, which is recently treated as support, now getting treated as resistance. We're still respecting structure. And then the same thing as the 1-hour time frame. You can see how price attempted to have this push, but we did not tap our recent lows. Instead, we formed a higher low point, a trend inside the overall trend of the market. And you can see how that allowed us to have the retest of this structure point. Not breaking past our lower high or breaking past our lower low, respecting structure, and now treating this area that was recently used as support and recently used as resistance as support and resistance once more. Like we just said, the 5-minute now is giving us that push bullish, which can possibly lead us to look for that bearish flip. And so as we continue to wait, you see how price then gave you the continuation breaker structure around here, forming our new higher low point. And if we continue to fast forward, boom, once price gave us this breaker structure on the 5-minute time frame, this then allowed the 15-minute time frame, let me delete this, to leave us with this beautiful bearish variation pattern. So you can see how this entry came, giving us the strong closure below the 5-minute breaker structure, giving us this strong closure with this bearish engulfing. We get our entry, our stop loss is at 15.8. Take profit is our 1-hour lows, since we're using our 1-hour area of interest for our entry zone. And then look what happens. Price went directly towards targets. Like if we were up around 2 in the morning when it presented, price didn't even wait, what, a full 9 hours? It was an 8-hour trade. This was such a fast trade, and we would have been asleep. We would have been asleep, made money. And then on top of that, even because that position came, if we go back, that position came at 1:30 in the morning. You can see at the bottom of my cursor, 1:30 in the morning. Around 5 o'clock, as you can see again, we're right here, 5 o'clock, we see price retrace back towards my area of interest. I'm up at this time, but I'm not worried about the charts because I believe that price was already forming that push from around here, which is my mistake. We should have just came back and just checked the charts to see what was going on. If I was able to do that, I would have found this entry based off of our entry signal being presented to us at 2 in the morning. I would have just simply allowed price to retrace, pull back towards this entry level and just take the same setup. Just enter around here once I saw price get back towards that break-even status. Find that position, and I would have found my position around here. So around here, and then look how fast this trade would have played out if we would have got in this morning. 3 hours. 3-hour window, 3-hour trade. We're done. Would have made what, $12,000 because this is 2.96. That's really $6,000. Yeah, $12,000, $6,000 on both accounts. So it is what it is. We live and we learn. This is good though. One, we see the strategy in effect once again, and then two, I can see that the market is now getting back with volume, because it's presented us with opportunities. And like you all know, when we're looking to trade, we typically trade every week. We find a setup every week. You can see the 19th, the 22nd. We took a break here. The 2nd, 14th, 21st, 23rd, 28th. It's every week we're finding setup. So now I'm pretty happy that we was able to find this setup, because that gives me more of a higher, what the world? It gives me more hype behind these setups now, because again, volume is back in the market. So yeah, AUDJPY, we missed out. It was a good setup. We just live and we learn. We'll fix it next go around. Just make sure we are double checking the market whenever I'm up, like in the middle of the night, just looking at the market. But yeah, AUDJPY, good trade. That's it for the breakdown. You can obviously see too the weekly time frame. We're just exhausted. Buying power is exhausted. And we can see price now about to form that fall. So good trade, good trade, good trade. Can't be mad at it. But yeah, stay tuned for the updates next week, and I will catch y'all later. Deuces. All right, y'all. So check me out. Hold on. Let me pause the TV real fast. Let me hit the little pause button. Guess what I just? Let me get y'all some. Guess what I just? All right, let me stop playing. All right, look, so this is what I'm figuring out. Y'all know the process of you learning how to trade, right? The process was quote unquote long, but it wasn't long because every day you was working on something. Every day you was finding out new information, applying the information, learning from the mistakes, doing it all over again, rinse and repeat, blah, 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 blah. And then later on down the road, it happened. Everything clicked. You're trading, you're hitting profit, you're making money, you're withdrawing money in a boom, 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 right? It happened so fast based off of us locking in on this one thing. My thing, because if you don't know, I'm new to the YouTube atmosphere, all of this. My thing was, okay, well, dang, I know how to trade now. All this YouTube stuff should be popping off. No. I have to figure it out. It's like trading all over again. I was such in a rush to speed my YouTube content, and not even speed the YouTube content, the growth from the YouTube channel. I wanted it to happen so fast, but I just realized it's not going to happen that fast. Yes, it can happen faster than, you know, what it did for me learning. Well, it can happen faster than what I expect, but if I continue to focus on that instead of me focusing on the growth, what it is I need to learn, what it is I need to stop doing, what it is I need to apply, what it is I need to learn from and apply again, it's the same steps as trading. I am a beginner. How do I expect to be the best one when I'm still at the beginner stage? I have to learn. I just have to say that. I got to learn. It's like with anybody out there doing something for the first time, right? You know it can happen. You know it can work. Blah, blah, blah. We heard it all the time. Everybody else is doing it. I can do it too, right? It's the truth. It's not a lie. The only thing we have to do now is the same exact thing. We have to find a strategy. We have to understand the market. We have to know what works and what does not work in the market. We have to learn these cheat codes, in a sense. Not even a cheat code. We have to learn the basic information. Once you have that basic information, now you can apply the basic information, go back out into the field, learn new information, go to somebody that's already been in this field longer than you have, apply that information, and apply it long enough until you can start reaping those rewards. Oh my God! That's all we got to do. That's all we got to do. Do it until you get the rewards. That's what we're doing. I'm going back to editing. Oh, hit my elbow. I'm going back to editing. I'm about to go keep editing. I'm about to have fun with this whole YouTube thing, this content. This is the journey. This is my journey. This is why I document it, because I can let y'all in on my journey. The people that's going to be negative comments, I love it. Feed me negative comments. I'm learning from the negative comments. It's not hurting me because I don't care about the negative comments. I understand there's people in this world that don't want to see you win. People want to say stuff good about you when you're doing good. I mean, no. People want to say bad things when you do good. People want to say bad things when you do bad. Oh, he's doing horrible. You need to do something better. Oh, why are you doing that? If you change it up. Or he's doing too well. I know he's scamming. Shut up. That's why you're still stuck. You're looking for excuses. All right, I'm going back to editing. I'm keeping this in here too, because this is just, watch. I just watched that video back. Y'all didn't tell me how dingy my camera was looking, which I don't even care because I'm still going to post the video anyway. But that's messed up. Very.